leaving this drawing the way it is in its current stage, it's okay. I mean, you got rid of all of your unwanted borders and such, but this is Photoshop, so we could do a little bit more. If you leave this image as is, the border that you place here will basically appear there. All the white background that you have right here is going to appear as a white background when you place it over another image. So what I propose to do is to try to crop everything out so that only the building perimeter is showing. Okay. One of the easier way to do that is to use the quick select tool. With quick select tool and magic wand, basically the fourth tool down. Quick select, magic wand. So the quick select tool, you don't have to do this part because I'm just gonna, whoops. So as you move across the area, it's gonna try to select all the parts that the thing encompasses. Of course, I had this thing at the 30-aught, so not so good. I Control Z. So if I tighten this up a little bit more, it'll get a little bit tighter and it'll select just minimal stuff. Or you can go to the magic wand tool and select an area, click on an area that's there. Now, to do this, you got to be a little bit careful that you look at what the tolerance here is. Basically, it's going to look for the similar pixel image, so that if this is selecting a white area right there, it's going to select all the area that encompasses up to a range, which means that you could set this tolerance to something really tight, like just that particular white pixel that's there, or you could make it a little bit wider so that it encompasses all this gray and stuff. So right now this building has like a black border. If you know, I like this picture to use as a example because it is so bad. If you know, there's some parts of this, this is the patio area, that is broken line. So some of it has like a little bit lighter gray than this black. So what we want to do is to tighten this, tighten the tolerance up a little bit more, maybe to 10, maybe to, well, let's try, well, I'll try 30 first and see what happens. So if I go like this and use the magic wand tool, if I do that, it seemed to have taken just the area outside. We do have to be careful that sometimes looking at it, it might have gone a little bit too much. So in later operation, they might give you a little bit of a problem. Okay, so when you say enter, it'll cut all this out. But like I said, we might have taken too much out, so I'm going to undo this thing. Control Z. Okay, and change the tolerance to, let's say, 1 as an example. Oh, Control D to deselect, and I have 1 as tolerance. And if I do that, click. Notice that I only got just a little bit of that border. So you gotta select somewhere between 1 and that 30, because we want to get all of these area outside selected. So if you look a little bit closer, please note that up here it doesn't even come close to the building edge, right? So again, we're going to have to deselect, Control D, and then change the tolerance to maybe 20 or something. Let's try 20. That might work. It might be getting too much. Control D. I'll try 11. Do that. And it's looking somewhat okay. Yeah, the only thing I'm really concerned about this edge right here, because it is a lighter gray, and I don't want any of the pixels to be deleted off of that. Okay, so if we feel that you can go more, we should go more. Control D, and I'll select something like 8, and then try it again. I notice that it's getting a little bit rougher over here, that it's starting to make a zagged line, which means that it's not going to be straight. So maybe something like 10. Control D and then 10. So it's a little bit of trial and error at this point, but what you're trying to do is to keep as much of the current pixels as possible. And when we do our landscape drawing on this, you'll understand why. If you do too much, you will not be able to do the other functions that we want to do. So try to use the lowest tolerance as possible to get as much, to retain as much of the image as possible, but to get rid of the outside borders altogether. Okay, so once we do that, if we go to the erase tool or the magic eraser, since it is a magic eraser tool, where's the eraser tool? Oh, there it is. Magic eraser tool. If I click on the inside, it's going to take away all of the stuff that we basically rubbed out with the eraser. Okay.